Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you an update on the progress I have on this Underbay. I have most of the framing done on it. We're to the point now where I am going to just go around, finalize things, and check my welds and make sure I have everything welded up good. And then we'll pull it apart and get it ready for paint. But I'm going to walk around and show you guys how I did this and my framing and my methodology for the Underbay here, and how I constructed it so that in the future I can pull it apart if I need to work on something or change it, or I want to be fairly flexible on the layout underneath. So it's been about a week and a half of welding in the evenings, so I am more than ready to pull it all off and get it painted and put it back on for good. So okay, I'll show you guys around. So in this side of the bus, this is the passenger side right in front of the rear axle. What I did here is I boxed around the duals, and then the suspension components come forward, so I jogged it about 2.5 inches towards the front of the bus. Jogged it up front there, and then bolted it to, I have a vertical upright right here that is bolted to the frame, and these, like the end wall and then this wall that boxes around the air dryer, those are bolted to there, so I can take those off. So I can unbolt the whole air dryer box and get it out of the way. This end wall will be rigid because it is welded to the frame, the side skirt frame, so that is going to be all one piece, and that side skirt will be welded because I'll have all the tin that will run down to the storage bay doors. So for the bottom here, I did 1.5 inch square tubing, 1.5 foot on center. I think this will be okay. I'm going to put tin underneath it and rivet that up to the frame, put insulation between the supports, and then I will put 1/2 inch plywood on top of that. So it'll be fairly strong. I have the main part of the Underbay broken into 2 panels. That way I can lift one up and slide it over on top of the other one if I need to get to only one part of the Underbay, or I can lift them up and drop them out. They are just resting currently on, they're just resting currently on my 2x3 angle iron. So the 2-inch side is right here, and that's welded on, and then it gives me plenty of a flange to bolt to, so I'll bolt the floor panels down. But up at the front there, I did something similar. I'll bring you guys over there. So up at the front here, it is a little bit more interesting. The suspension on this bus pivots to the rear when you hit a bump. So that spring hanger, I think that's the terminology, this spring hanger will pivot to the rear. So I needed plenty of space back here to allow for movement of the steering and the axle and all that. So I boxed it out. It is bolted to the fuel tank, that subframe there. It's bolted there, and it's welded up to the side skirt here. And I'm not sure exactly what my layout will be, but this would be a great spot for electrical or something like that that's tucked in behind this door here. So I have a little bit of framing. I have another piece of angle iron to put in down there, and yeah, just little odds and ends. Make sure I got all my tack welds welded solid. But all these walls will have sheet metal put on the outsides, and then 2 inches of foam put in between. Then I'll put sheet metal on the inside also. So it should be fairly well insulated and fairly quiet. It's going to be fun going around this fuel tank, but I'll bend some sheet metal up to fit along the I'll bend some sheet metal up to fit along the sides of the fuel tank itself. and then put the foam in, and then more sheet metal. So then I have to sneak at the top here. I'll have to sneak an air duct in to get to the front of the bus, but that shouldn't be too terribly difficult. I'll bring you around to the other side. So this side is a little different. So up front here I have the framing pretty much done for the air conditioning coolers. So they'll fit one on top of each other right there. And then right behind that is where the air conditioner themselves will go. Those are the two that were hanging up in the cabin of the bus. Those will be put down there. And then I'll have ductwork that will run between there, and so the diesel heater will go in this bay also. And they will go into a duct system that will run right along the frame rail and go around to the front and then towards the rear of the bus also. So back here is the rear of the bus. I have one black water tank that will fit on the other side of the frame, all the way on the other side of the bus, up on the top. We'll have two hanging here, and this will be where all of my black water tanks will empty out, will be through this door. So I will have plenty of room for utilities. I have everything else will fit on, hopefully on this side, and if not, it'll be between or underneath the frame rails of the bus. So all I have to do now is I have to start pulling it apart and check my welds as I go. I have to also weld up some rails that will hold the black water tanks. I'll get those done as I go also. And tomorrow we plan to prime and paint, so I'll just get it all prepped and ready to go for that. So see where we get to tonight. The primer we are using here is a red oxide primer. It is commonly used in building construction for steel buildings. It works pretty well for the underbay because you can still weld through the primer. Here you can see us priming the inside of the sheet metal pieces that will form the skin of the underbay walls. We wanted to prime the insides to prevent rust and to get rid of any bare metal on the underbay. So this brings us to the end of this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.